The Remington Rolling Block is one of the earliest firearms designed for metallic cartridges. Let me show you how this gun works from the inside out. The earliest rolling block type guns were designed by Joseph Ryder during the American Civil War and used a split breech where the hammer goes through the breech block to fire the cartridge. Development continued and the basic rolling block design was in place by the late 1860s. Remington referred to the early design as the Remington system and produced hundreds of thousands of military rifles for several countries. These rifles are generally referred to as number 1 rolling blocks. Some of the most frequently encountered of these were originally exported to Egypt and Spain. Remington used the basic rolling block design on a variety of models. They had an early contract for U.S. Navy pistols, and the Army placed an order for pistols in the early 1870s. Remington also developed a sporting rifle based on the military rolling block. The rolling block action was produced in 4 different sizes. The number 1.5 action is a slightly thinner version of the number 1 and was used only for sporting rifles. The number 2 action is smaller and lighter yet, used originally for the Army pistol and then for sporting rifles. Notice how the back of the receiver is angled. The model number 7 rifle was developed from surplus 1871 Army pistol actions and is a true target rifle. The number 4 rolling block was offered as a boy's rifle and was available in 22, 25, and 32 rimfire and utilized a slightly different internal mechanism. When smokeless powder came around at the end of the 19th century, Remington developed the number 5 rifle around the new higher pressure cartridges such as 30-30 Winchester, 7mm Mauser, and the 30-40 Craig. The basic rolling block design was popular in large part because it was so simple and durable and was available from 22 rimfire to 50-70 centerfire. Let's take a look at how a rolling block action works. A cutaway will let us see inside the gun as it operates. I start with a number 1 military rifle, originally exported to Egypt about 1870. These are pretty common, and almost all of them, including this one, have seen better days. The first step is to remove the buttstock and fore-end. Then the pin retainer, which allows the breech block pin and breech block and hammer pin and hammer to be removed. Next, I remove the trigger guard, disassemble it, and finally, remove the extractor. To clean off 140 years of crud, I bead blast all of the parts. I want to cut away enough of the receiver to show how the inside works, but not so much that it won't function. The receiver is coated with Dykem, and I scribe the areas to be cut. Then I bolt the barreled receiver to a shop-made fixture, using these spacers to prevent crushing. The fixture holds the receiver securely while it's in the mill vise. It takes several passes with a 3/8" carbide end mill to cut away the excess material. I'm also making a cut to show a dummy cartridge in place. Once the receiver is complete, I use the same process for the trigger guard. With the gun back together, it's easy to demonstrate just how simple the rolling block design is. To load the rifle, I pull the hammer to full cock. Notice how the sear engages the hammer. With the hammer cocked, the design of the hammer allows the breech block to rotate back. As the block is rolled back, the safety lever is engaged and prevents the trigger from being pulled. The safety lever is held tight against the breech block by this spring. The chamber is now open and I can insert a dummy round. I roll the breech block forward. The rifle is now loaded and cocked and can be fired by simply pulling the trigger. If I don't wish to fire the gun, I can hold the hammer while pulling the trigger, then lower the hammer to half cock, which is the safety notch. Notice how the hammer, in this position, prevents the breech block from being operated. Cocking the hammer, it's clear to see how the sear is pushed up into the full cock notch. When the trigger is pulled, it releases the sear from the hammer notch, letting the hammer fall forward, locking the breech block closed. The hammer nose hits the firing pin and pushes it against the primer, firing the round in the chamber. After firing, the hammer is cocked and the breech opened. As the breech block rotates to the rear, a cutout in the side of the block engages the sliding extractor, pulling it rearward along with the round in the chamber. Well, it's pretty easy to see just how simple the rolling block design is.